Okay, now that we have installed Jira in our machines, let's actually start working on a live example. Consider we are working for a e-commerce website and their business is an online grocery store, and say that grocery store is providing an option to shop variety of groceries using their website, and they already have some features which are developed like the home page, shop page, and login module and the shopping basket module. And now they are expecting us to develop two modules which are about page and the contact page. And the about page will be describing all the details of their website, and the contact page will provide the user an option to contact the grocery stores via an email address or a telephone number. So all those details will be provided in the contact page. So now let's discuss what we will be doing when a client approaches us with these requirements of developing an about page and a contact page. It's the responsibility of the product owner to interact with the client and collect all the requirements. So let's say the requirement is, when as a user I click on the contact button, I should be navigating into another page which will give me all the details of how to contact the web provider. Okay, so that is a requirement. So that requirement in agile terminology, we call it as a user story. So in this way, one project or one feature will have many number of user stories. Say the second requirement is, when we click on the about button, I should be navigating into another page where it will provide me all the details about that Fresh Market grocery store. Okay, so in this way, like if you look at this header section of the website here, it has like multiple features, and each feature has again its own functionality. So what we can do is, we can group all these features into one big feature, and when you group all the small features together, we can name it as an epic. You know the meaning of epic, right? Traditionally, epic is like, a big book which has multiple stories in it, right? If I think you might have all learned as a child. So in the same way, even in the agile terminology, it's nothing but just to differentiate the big user stories and the small user stories, we just name it as like a group of user stories as an epic, and a granular level of any user story or a feature as a user story. Going forward, as we discuss more, you'll get the difference between the user story and an epic. Also see, if you look here, we have a header section in this website, and this header section has different main menu items like the Fresh Market, which is the logo of the website, home button, shop button, about, contact, login, and the shopping basket buttons. So we have 7 different main menu items, where all these menu items are being placed in the header section of the web page, isn't it? So to achieve the entire development of our header section, we need to first complete the development of its submodules. So we can now consider each and every submodule as a feature, and put together we can consider as an epic, which is nothing but the big feature. I'm just trying to give you a better understanding. That's why I'm just terming it. That's why I'm just naming it as a big feature and a granular feature. But in real world, we don't call it as a big feature. Okay. So when you say an epic, it's nothing but a collection of the features. So each feature you can call it as a user story, and also an epic, it's nothing but a group of user stories. Okay. Going forward, we can discuss more, and you'll be able to understand in a better way. Okay, now let's talk about our e-commerce application which we are trying to work as a live project. Okay, consider that we are working for a client whose business is a grocery store, and let's give it a name as Fresh Market Grocery Store. Okay, and that grocery store wants to bring more business by adding a contact page and an about page. Okay, so when trying to say that we are adding more business, it's nothing but they're trying to add more value. And how are they trying to add more value? By adding about page, which is a feature, and a contact page, which is nothing but another feature for their existing application, isn't it? So every time you add a feature, that means you are giving more options for the end users so that they can bring in more business. So the main purpose of the Scrum is nothing but whenever you're trying to develop a feature, it should show some value. Okay, so remember, in interviews or in real time, if someone asks you what is the value of that feature, it's nothing but what is the end functionality, or what is the business it is bringing back to the user. Okay, so let me show you the wireframe of our user, and they are expecting a contact page to be developed, and let's say a contact page should look something like this. So if you are trying to develop an input box for the first name field and the input box for the last name field, what is the value that you are providing to the end user by this? We are giving option for the end users to enter their first name and the last name. So that is the value. Okay, and let's say if we click on this first name and the last name, it is not allowing to do anything. That means it is not providing any value. So got it? Let's say after entering all the details and we are trying to hit the submit button, what happens? All these details will be submitted to the Freshmarket provider and a form in the form of an email. So that is the value. So any output or any expected behavior of a functionality that has been developed at the end, it's nothing but the value that we are providing for the each feature release. Okay, and that should be the goal of the Scrum. Going back, okay, here now let's say the client wants to bring more value to the business by adding about page and a contact page. Okay, so what are the two features that we are trying to develop now? About page and the contact page. If we just look into the wireframe, so how do you know what is that about page is going to have and what is that contact page module is going to have, and how will it look like? What are all the sub modules they should have? So how will you know? Basically, the client or the end user will provide us a wireframe or the skeleton of the website feature that we are going to be developed. Okay, so I'll show you how that framework looks like. So here if you see, this is something our client is expecting. Okay, so the client already have a website which has a logo, which has a home button, which has a shopping button, and which has login and shopping cart. In this feature, now the client is requesting us to provide more value by adding two critical features like the contact page and the about page. Okay, and let's say this is the wireframe of the contact page. Now that we know a contact us page has to be developed, so this is the module that we need to develop, contact us page. If you look carefully in the contact us page, in the wireframe provided by the user for the contact us page, there is loads of information that needs to be developed. In the header section, we need to provide the text information of the contact details, address details, and the opening hours of the store. And in the body section, we need to be providing the input boxes so that the user can input their details, their personal details like first name, last name, email, subject, phone number, address, birthday, and also they can enter their personal message here. And at the end, they are given an option to agree the terms and conditions. And at the end, the user is given an option to submit the details that has been entered here. Okay, and if you notice here, the user is also given an option to see the map details like the location details of the Freshmarket store, where exactly it is located. Okay, so all these features to be developed in one go, it's a big task. So what we will be doing, or what the product owner will be doing, is they will be considering this contact us page, or maybe they will be deciding like the contact us header as one epic, and the body section with the input boxes as another epic, and the footer section which has the map details as another epic. So let's say if we consider these three as three different epics, every epic, if you see here, we can now split into multiple features again, right? So in the header epic, we can say like, the header should have the contact details, the address details, and the opening hours, and where should they be placed, and what are all the details that needs to be provided. So that all these four different user stories can be written under one epic for the header section. And in the body section, if you observe carefully, we have the different details which have different formats that can be given. So the name details and the subject and the phone number and the address, they can be provided by typing in manually. But when it comes to the birthday, if you notice here, we also have a date picker. So product owner might be thinking like, birthday section can be divided into another epic. Okay, so in this birthday epic or birthday input box epic, the features can be like the user should be able to manually provide in the birthday details, or the user should be able to click on the date picker or the calendar, so that from there the users can be choosing their birth dates. Okay, and also once the date picker has been clicked, where the date picker should be popping up, should it pop over like in the upward direction or in the downward direction or towards the sidewards. And let's say once the calendar has been displayed in some direction, the user should be able to scroll through the dates so that they can select the birthday. So likewise, all this one epic can be split into multiple features, and each feature is nothing but each user story. So now I think it should be clear what is an epic and what is a user story. To keep it in simple and short, a small granular level of feature is nothing but a user story, and a group or the collection of user stories is nothing but an epic.